I'd like to tell you a client story that does a great job of illustrating the critical need many companies have for an exemption certificate solution and just how beneficial this can be. Taxpayer was a retailer selling about 1/3 of their goods to the general public, in other words, to end users. And the other 2/3 of their revenues came from selling to contractors. These contractors were buyers who would then resell the items being purchased from my client. Of course, this larger portion, the 2/3 of my client's sales, represented transactions eligible for the resale exemption. Generally speaking, when an item is purchased with the intent of being resold, the purchasers can claim the resale exemption, relieving the purchaser of the obligation to pay sales tax. Conversely, it relieves the seller from the obligation of collecting sales tax. Here's the challenge. It's more than just the buyer saying, "Don't charge me sales tax, I'm reselling this, trust me." The buyer has to provide to the seller an exemption or resale certificate where the buyer affirmatively claims the exemption. The seller is then required to maintain this documentation. My client, again, the seller, had not done a particularly stellar job of keeping up with these certificates. By the time they came to me in the middle of this audit, their liability was over $700,000. Clarus got to work. We reconciled differences in the audit schedules and source material exemption certificates. In addition, we began providing exemption certificate maintenance services, ensuring that the taxpayer had the proper documentation to support their tax-free sales on a go-forward basis. It can be a bit of a challenge doing this after the fact. However, we were able to decrease the audit liability by over 80%. The taxpayer also onboarded with our exemption certificate software, AkuCert. With us being able to secure these exemption certificates on the front end, the taxpayer's next audit liability 3 years later resulted in a decrease of a whopping 99.5% from their first audit. Many manufacturers and businesses that largely sell to other resellers consider AkuCert to be the cheapest insurance they will ever buy.